chance here for Huddersfield, which is swept in by Josh Karoma.
Flips this one in, goes to the far post. Nagayama with the goal.
Hello, good evening all, welcome back to the channel for another live stream as we look at the first press conference, of course, of our new head coach, Michael Duff, which was this afternoon. I'm sure everybody was watching or definitely caught up with it when they got home from work or whatever they've been doing today. But yeah, I mean, look, it was a very good watch, wasn't it? A real breath of fresh air for me. I think it was... I think I was certainly impressed. He certainly made an impression on me. I know, obviously, we've heard a lot about Michael Duff, of what he's done in his, in his career and things, but I think that just to have that first impression, I think it's always vital, isn't it? It kind of sets the tone. I know that these press conferences are only words, and we have been here before. You know, managers that have come in, head coach, whatever you want to call them, right? They've come in and they've said all these words, but they haven't backed it with any action. So we've been here all before, haven't we? And I think that that's why I'm a bit cautious still. But I think what he did say, and we are going to get into it, we're going to get into the key quotes and go through it. Not everything, but we're going to go through quite a bit of it and kind of react to it. But yeah, I think I was really impressed overall with what he said. It was great to see, really refreshing, wasn't it? I just loved hearing him speak. But let's get into the comments before we do get going. Yeah, let's get into the comments. Blue Town says, good to see Chapman being given a new contract. #1. Yeah, we'll get into that at the end of the show. So yes, obviously I'll cover that as well. But yeah, good to see, definitely. True Gooner, Josh, big up to you, Josh. Thank you for nipping in. I appreciate it. I love your content. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, go over to his channel. There's fantastic content, and yeah, definitely worth a subscription over there as well. So yeah, thank you for coming in anyway, Josh. Hope you're well. And Aiden's in. He says, hello, mate. Hope you're okay. Yeah, big up to you, Aiden. Yes, I'm not doing so bad. Hope you're okay too. But yeah, we are going to get into it now, guys. Don't worry. And we're going to kind of dissect this press conference in the best way I can. But before I do, obviously, like I say, do make sure you do smash the like if you like the video and subscribe. But we are on the road to 500 subscribers. It will be great to get there as soon as we can. I'm trying to deliver a lot of content on the channel and putting daily content out there if I can, or every other day at least. But yeah, I'm really working hard with the content side of things. So yeah, really appreciate everybody that supports the channel and who will choose to subscribe. I appreciate it as well. Anyway, I'm waffling on as I usually do. But yeah, I think that this press conference was very interesting, wasn't it? And I am going to get to a few quotes now. Now, he was asked about the prospect of League One, first of all. And he obviously mentioned that he said that it's a reset. We want to rebuild it, pull everything back together, and create a winning environment. So the culture, winning culture, whatever you want to say, right? Yeah, I mean, look, again, great kind of quote there, wasn't it? He knows what he's walked into. He's not naive enough to think that he doesn't. He's coming and he knows what he's coming to, and he obviously wants to rebuild, and he wants to fix. He wants to, slowly but surely fix all the issues and fix everything back together again, because we're broken at the moment, aren't we? We're broken all over the place. He wants to try and do it, obviously as a head coach, he's responsible to try and not do everything on his own, but of course to an extent, obviously do his part on that side of things. And yeah, I love that how he wants to kind of bring that winning environment, that winning culture, the mentality to win. That's what we've been missing for a while. I mentioned it on my previous, shows and videos that I've done. That yeah, the winning mentality is nowhere to be seen at the moment. We're a losing mentality club, and that's the sad reality of it. So that was obviously something that he wants to do and fix. So I think that was really positive. he set out his foundations for what he wants to achieve. So again, very ambitious with what he said. He obviously said he does want to get promoted, you know, and and that affects what he said. He said we want to get promoted next year. Make no mistake about that. So look, he knows that he wants to try and bring success as soon as he can, and I think the fact that look, we know that it's not going to be easy. It's never an easy league to get out of, right? But I think when you're setting that standard, at the very first moment you've walked through the door that you want to get promoted, next year, that I really, really like that. I think it sets the standards really high. So we're talking about that winning environment, that winning culture. That really helps when somebody, obviously when he said that from the outset, that his intentions are there straight away. Now, Duff also talked about his assurances of budget. Well, he was asked about it. He responded by saying, everyone's aligned. Haven't been given any guarantees on numbers. I do believe if we can get it right with the infrastructure of the club and the appetite of the owner, the opportunity to be successful is there. So, yeah, look, it is obviously, he's not been given any guarantees on numbers, but I like the fact that he's saying that, if you can get the infrastructure right at the club, he senses that opportunity that, we can be successful under him, Next quote was about addressing the issues, obviously. He said about the Andre Brownwright situation, of course. He said if you watched the interviews, Andre was quite damning in his assessment. He was probably frustrated. That's probably because they weren't winning, which, misery loves a best mate. After 2 or 3 years of that, it ends in relegation. So yeah, again, you can sense that he knows what he's talking about. And I kind of mentioned this before, how we've been here before, haven't we? Time after time. We've had managers and head coaches, whatever, that have spoken well, but they've not delivered the words that they very few have delivered what they've actually said in the press conference and things. But I really do sense that it is slightly different with this guy, just because I sense that, well, first and foremost, he's not just saying a load of jargon. He's not just saying a load of rubbish, effectively. Basically what I'm saying. You can tell he knows what he's on about. And I think that also various things about kind of setting the stall straight away. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I hope you kind of get what I'm trying to say here, guys. It is a bit different, but I still want to kind of wait and see, because I want to see actions as well. I don't want to just take my initial impressions as the definitive answer, because we do need to see what happens. Ian says when he talked about promotion, I like what he said about it. It doesn't mean we're favourites to get promoted because it's not an easy league. Yeah. This is it, isn't it? Just because he said that doesn't mean there's any guarantees of it. I get what you're saying, because League One is a tough league. But I think if you look at it on the grand scheme of things, whether people want to admit this or not, we are one of the bigger clubs in League One now. We are one of the bigger teams in League One now, because we've got the fan base, the stadium, everything's we've just obviously just come down from the Championship, so we've kind of been there for a while as well. So we are going to be one of the bigger teams in the league, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? Of course, it doesn't mean that you're going to get promoted because of that. But we are going to have that kind of tagline of a bigger club than some of the clubs in that league. So yeah, but it was nice to hear him, like I said, just set that stall, set that high standard, promotion. That's what I want, right? Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but that's what he's striving towards, and he wants it next year. So for me, really, really positive and good words to really, really good to see him say that, for sure. Every time he talks, let's be honest, I think it's brought a smile to our face, which we haven't had in a long time. Yeah, he did. He did, yeah. I must admit, I was, obviously smiling through it. What he had to say, and yeah, I was really, 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 really impressed by it. But we have said that about previous managers, which is why I'm not getting too carried away. But yeah, I think it is slightly different this appointment. I feel like it's better aligned, and I think that as a club, he spoke about the values, which I'll get into now. In a moment, but he spoke about the values that he has and he expects of his team. That aligns with what us fans expect as the value, in terms of the values of what we expect to see from our players, and that's why I think this is a very good fit, and that's that kind of platform of it being a good fit. Kind of, I don't know, it just kind of that we haven't really had a proper connection with a manager in recent time. That you could say maybe Neil Watt, to be fair, we did have a connection with him. Obviously the ones after that, obviously Moore, and well, for me, I didn't really have much of a connection with Brian Reiter. To be honest with you, I don't. But yeah, it is. It's nice to have that change, isn't it? Now, the next thing he said was about this is an opportunity and a chance to reset. The past is the past. Talk is cheap, but we want to get promoted. So again, he's just laying that foundation. He realizes that this is a big opportunity to and really a chance to reset, which is what the club needs. And I think he's kind of trying to say to the fans in this part, when he said the past is the past, yeah, we're not very happy about what's happened in the past, but let's all look forward now. Let's look at what we've got, right? We have got relegated on. We are going to be playing League One, in next season. So let's look at the future and what we can affect now. And I think that it's kind of trying to maybe, just kind of refocus the fans' viewpoint, because obviously it's obviously hard when we just got relegated. It's hard to sometimes, to kind of, well, it's not something, but it's hard to kind of take, isn't it, really? But then he acknowledges, which is what I said, effectively he says that he knows that all the talking he's saying in his conference doesn't really mean anything, because he has to back it up. And he's obviously trying to say that he wants to show kind of his actions on the field too, of course, when he gets the chance to, when the pre-season and the season begins. Now, I also like this next bit that he said as well. He said, we want to give the people of the town a team to be proud of. I think this was a really good quote, and I think that's what we've wanted. That's what we've wanted for a while, haven't we? A team that we can be really proud of. Doesn't mean winning every week, this, by the way. Just means a team that we feel connected with, everybody pulling in the same direction, players fighting for the ball, showing pride in the badge, these kind of traits. And I think that he wants to get that back into the football club, right? And I think that, that's one of his aims, his goals, to get that. And yeah, I think that was really nice to hear, because we wanted a team, like I say, a team to be proud of. We just want that, don't we? We just want it, a team that we can be really proud of, and no disruptors in the dressing room, no players that don't want to be at the club. Everybody that is in the dressing room that wants to be there and wants to succeed, and that's what it's about. The next part he said was about, he said that he was asked about whether he'd spoken to any of the players yet, or whether met the players. I think it was the question. And he mentioned about he's spoken to the captain, obviously, and obviously Hoggy had his opinions on things. And he also said that he wants to take as many opinions as possible. So he doesn't want to kind of, just go off one person's opinion. He wants a broader kind of idea here. And, and obviously he's obviously making those conversations with people in the club. Now, he said that the players need a break. Mental health is important in society, and they need to get away and refresh before coming back fit. So yeah, again, yeah, really obviously good to see. Obviously he's been starting to speak to a few. Obviously Hoggy, the captain, as well. But again, that ending, he expects everybody to come back fit. So it's the standards. I'm talking about the standards here, but that's the standard. He isn't going to take any rubbish, right? He has standards. He has high standards and what he expects. And I just think it's really, really refreshing to hear all these things. We want to see the action, obviously, and we will allow him to do. Obviously, you will get a chance to show that action. But I just think it's a really positive impression I'm getting here, more so than any other manager that we've had in the past, really. He said about the 11 on the pitch are the most important people at the club, because if they're winning everything else looks after itself. Now he also reiterated that we don't have to sell players. So there's no. I know when people, clubs do get relegated, there is that kind of need to get rid, or not get rid, sell players to kind of, raise some money to get some more players in. But that isn't the case here. Obviously, if they leave, obviously it will be for the right price, he said, for their asking price. And if that happens, we will be prepared, obviously, to deal with that loss, whoever goes out the door. He also wanted to kind of say, obviously, there is some players left over in this squad. Some good players left over in this squad, which, yeah, there is. We know that. We know there's some good players in the squad that want to be here and have always given the best. When you're not winning, that's how you get fractures, he said, and after years of that, that's when you get relegated. So yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those. It's a difficult kind of thing to kind of comprehend how things have shaped out over the past year. But again, let's look at the future. Now, yeah, I think, like I say, the overall impression Duff gave was that he knew, he was aware what he was walking into, and he won't tolerate the cliches and fractions that kind of Brighton might have felt. Obviously, it contributed to us getting relegated, which I don't believe, because I think he was the man that should have done that, not pointing the blame at everybody else. But anyway, I was getting into the story. And yeah, I was really impressed by what I heard. As I said, let's just see what else. Complete someone on wild card was at the press conference. To be honest, I thought it would have been Nagel. Yeah, look, I'm obviously Carrat was there. I'm not gonna. You're gonna set me off on one way, to be honest with you, because look, I just think the things that he was saying as well in that. Was very, very, I just think, I just can't believe he's still at the club. But I don't want to go between that. Like I say, I know he spoke, but I'm not going to go into the comments that he made, because I just think he just speaks utter rubbish. Now with Nagel, I think he has gone back to America, gone back to his home. So I don't think he is in this country. He's gone back. I think anyway. I'm not too sure. Let's have a look. So we'll look what else he said. I am actually organised, guys, but I'm just kind of. But yeah, I mean, whilst I do find my thought, obviously, if you are watching on X, welcome. But yeah, like I say, you can come over to the YouTube channel, Huddersfield Town Fan TV, and come over, drop a like whilst you're in, and subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated, of course. I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Now, obviously, also about promotion. I want to go on to this. He did say about promotion that there is that kind of assumption that that we want to get promoted next year. Make no mistake about that. But but he said he's fully aware that there's no given right. So again, he's not being naive about the situation. There's no right, just because we will be one of the bigger clubs in League One, there's no right to say that, right, that means we're going to get promoted, on that basis. So I like he's very level-headed, He said, I've been in the league before with some big football clubs, and we are one of those big clubs. But just because we've been relegated doesn't mean, we'll get promoted. So yeah, I mean, look, that he's really just talking sense, isn't he? He's right, and that's what I kind of said just before that. He said that we need to implement a lot of things. Everything needs to be right. The recruitment needs to be right. The character of people needs to be right. So it's all aligned to create a winning culture. And then winning games of football and promotions are a byproduct of that. So yeah, he's right, isn't he? You need to, it's not just about one particular thing, is it? It's obviously a few things combined that you need to implement to be successful. And yeah, you obviously reiterate that, first and foremost, he has to start kind of, we as a club, we as in obviously him and the staff have to start laying the foundation of kind of building all those little incremental things that you need, and I think that, like I say, that word reset was really used in the press conference. I think that was pretty evident, wasn't it? Pretty evident that he was obviously the emphasis to reset. Like I said in previous videos, Duff has already been there and done that with that in terms of overseeing these things, because he was able to obviously turn around Barnsley in very similar circumstances following their relegation to League One 2 years ago. So he's been there and he knows how to kind of, what he needs to do to try and help things, He says, naturally after relegation you lose players, but I don't want to make any snap judgments. I've been in the building less than 72 hours. Yeah, but the main word that I've worked to is reset. There's been a relegation, so something's gone wrong. Whether that's happened in the last 6 months or a year-on-year decline, it's not for me to make those judgments just yet. But having the conversations we want to rebuild it. We want to pull everything back together and create a winning environment. And there's a lot of hard work in between, even before the pre-season starts. So yeah, let's have a look what else he said. He talked about the non-negotiables that he expects from all of his players, right? And he set his stall here. Whether they're new arrivals or obviously inherited players that he's going to work with. He said that all my teams have been fit, strong, and organised. So that's what they need to understand. Yes, you want to play attacking football and get in people's faces, but the foundations are fit, strong, and organised. So again, it's laying his mark on what he expects firsthand. That's what. So the players will have seen what he's been saying, right? Because they're not naive. They're not completely ajar of what's being said. They'll be aware of what's being said. So that's what the players, And if you don't want to stick to these kind of traits or values, then you shouldn't be. You're not going to be playing, right? You're not going to. We're going to try and get rid of you effectively, because it's either his way or no way, basically, and you've got to respect what the coach wants, of course. But yeah, I like those words. Fit, you've got to be fit. We know that, right? Strong, good to be strong. We've been so weak this past year, right? We've not been fit, as we know. An organisation who's been all over the place, as we know. So yeah, he wants to create those. He wants to bring those back. And then he reiterated that, so the players, they better come in fit, and they will come in fit, and they will be fit by the end of the pre-season. And that's not just physically fit, but mentally fit, he said. Again, standards. That's what he's not going to take. He's not going to take anything. And I kind of mentioned that before on videos, to be fair, about how he has worked with the like of Sean Dyche, who that's what Sean Dyche is like. He doesn't take any mugs. He doesn't take any rubbish from anybody, right? And you know, and he will. And I do feel like Duff will really have that respect in the dressing room. He won't. He will be able to control the dressing room. He won't allow any kind of shenanigans that has happened over the past year, right? He's disciplined, and he won't take any rubbish, as I said. So yeah, that's what you need. That's what you need. Obviously, with the strength and conditioning and all that comes with it, they'll be mentally strong and then organised. That's my job, and the coaching staff is to make them organised. Yeah, true. From that platform, you can go and play football. You can be aggressive in the press. You can get into the box in certain areas of the pitch. But first and foremost, you need to build the foundations with the team, with the club, everything. So we can see by these words that he doesn't know. He knows exactly what he's talking about, and he has been there, you know, and it just makes sense, doesn't it? He's speaking a lot of sense, you know. He's not just waffling like I do a lot. But yeah, he said he's happened before. We did it at Barnsley. We managed to tie a club together. It was very similar. There was a disconnect between everything, and lots of players wanted to leave. All those sorts of things. So yeah, again, he's been there. He's had experience of this, so that'll stand him in good stead now with us. He said, but if you can get things going with this football club, this support, this infrastructure, the owner, it's exciting times. And yeah, it is. It is. It is exciting times for the club. And like I said, hopefully we can, you know what I mean, kind of get those exciting times back. Because, like I say, it's been horrendous, hasn't it, this past year? You could argue way before that as well, you know, going back. Well, I don't want to go back, because the past year has been horrendous. So, now let's have a look what else he has to say. And I think that's kind of it, really. I think, look, the bottom line is that, you know, we want to see all these words are just promises at the moment, aren't they? They're not anything. We haven't seen, you know. So I just think, I think we're at a stage where everyone will only believe them when they see them start to kind of be fulfilled. And it's right, isn't it? You know, you can't take too much from this, although you can say that, you know, it is. There are some good signs. You know, there are some good signs. There is some optimism there now with this. It is. It's hard to not get carried away, because I have done that in the past with managers that have come in and spoke, you know, talk the talk, but not really backed it up. Well, haven't backed it up at all, should I say? And I think, yeah, like I say, he talked brilliantly. He's ambitious. You know, he's refreshed. He's ready to go. Obviously, he's not. You know, he's had a break from football management, so he's ready to go. You know, and I think that's what is key. That he is. I think when you step out of the game, you kind of just have that period. You know, where you. Not that I have any experience, but I think when a manager obviously has a job, obviously, and then maybe you lose his job like Duff did, and then just takes a bit of time to reflect. You know, just have a bit of time out. You know, go and do other things, and you know, kind of just keep learning. Because I think the thing that I kind of took from the press conference as well is that he wants to keep learning. You know, and he mentioned a few bits about that, where he said that he's been to different places, at different clubs. You know, and I think he said that he went to a boxing club. You know. And he kind of just learn. He just wants to learn. You know, I think that, you know, like I said, the words that he said are very clear, concise. He sounds an intelligent guy. He's got personality. He's got a bit about him. You know, he's a character that I feel like you know, the players will respond very well to him. I think that he's, you know what I mean? I think it's just, you know, the fact that he won't take any rubbish from the players, like I said, is obviously crucial. You know, not losing the dressing room when you're in a job, you know, in a head coach manager's role is really crucial, as we know. as we already know firsthand, yeah. But I think with Duff, I think I've got the confidence in him that he's strong enough to be able to handle the dressing room, because you can tell. Let's have a look. But yeah, like I said, I don't know really. Just having a look at this. But yeah, big up to everybody that's coming in, by the way. I appreciate everybody that is supporting the channel, of course. But yeah, I think it's just kind of, it has kind of, breathed a bit of positivity back into the club, I think. And obviously this is a long way to go, of course, but I just think a tiny little bit maybe, and that's a good start. Because I think if we would have appointed a manager that, didn't really fit the values that and we didn't feel like he. Basically, in other terms, we would have gone for somebody that hadn't had experience in the league and we hadn't really heard of. I think we would have been less, kind of less positive, I suppose. But yeah, it's probably going to be quite a short stream tonight, by the way. But yeah, I hope kind of explained how I feel about it after listening to the press conference. I think, yeah, like I said, it is really positive what has been said, but it's also you've got to cling on to some hope, haven't you? I suppose, and I think that with this press conference, I think it does give you a bit of hope, if anything else. I think that the connection. I just have a feeling the connection with the fans, obviously results will determine this, but I think that the connection with the fans, the players, will really be back next season. It will. I do think that. I think, bit by bit, I think we will be able to piece things together. And like I said, when you've got a coach like Duff that's come in, I think that certainly helps massively with that, doesn't it? So yeah, feeling fairly positive, good, and it kind of makes me excited for the new season. We're going to have to see what happens, and I think everybody, like just looking on social media now, a lot of people have been impressed by what he said, how he's come across, and I think it is nice to see that bit of positivity back into the club, and we're just gonna have to wait and see. The summer's going to be really important, as we know. The recruitment has got to be spot on. Get players in that he wants. I'm going to do a video about kind of some of the players that I've highlighted that potentially I would like to see come in. So I'm going to do a video on that. That'll be, I'm not sure when, but it'll be out soon. I think over the next few days maybe. And yeah, like I said, I'll really upload that. But yeah, good stuff. But yeah, we're going to talk about Jacob Chapman, who of course has signed a new contract. Obviously, one of our academy goalkeepers. Obviously 23 years of age. So it was announced today, not long ago actually, that Chapman was getting, has extended his contract, signed a 2-year contract extension with the club. Like I said, so that'll keep him at the club till 2026. Obviously, he joined the club from his local side 5 years ago. So he's been, because he's 23 years of age, and obviously he has made an impact at first team level this season too. Stepping up in the absence of when Lee Nichols was out and Chris Maxwell was out. He made 2 senior appearances. See. That included a crucial penalty save against Middlesbrough and the John Smiths as well. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm happy for him. I think he does deserve it. And I think like I said, when I was doing the keep and sell live stream that I did the other week, I think I did say that I want to keep Chapman, so I'm glad that that's happened. But like I said, we still haven't had our the retained list. I'm kind of anticipating that to come out tomorrow, if I'm honest with you. The full retain list of players. So there's not many players out of contract anyway, but obviously it's still nice to see kind of, what's happening with those players, even if it is only a few that are out of contract. And then obviously, so yeah, be interesting. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, really, really optimistic. Like I said, with Duff, I feel already, and I go back to it, the connection I was talking about. I feel like, there's kind of a connection already after hearing you speak, if you get what I mean. I think that's really refreshing. We've missed that for a long time, as we know. We just want to feel connected to the club again, don't we? We want to have a team to be proud of, and hopefully, next season it's going to be a successful season. And like you say, we're going for promotion. We're going for promotion. That's what the head coach has said, and it's good to have that goal. Not just saying, we want to get promoted, but we might have to have a year where we just kind of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but just kind of a year where we don't go up. I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but yeah. But no, he wants to go for it this season coming up, so it's really good. But yeah, but anyway, guys, it was a bit of a shorter stream today, to be honest with you. I think I kind of covered everything I want to cover. I think time will tell. Obviously, he's gonna, kind of work with his squad when they return, and he's gonna kind of be in the background working out recruitment. Alongside the others to try and get the right players in and be organised, and yeah, we're just gonna have to see. But I think we can safely say that it does look quite a good fit for the football club. This, but again, we have to see it. We have to see what's going to happen, though. We can't just keep, we can't just keep going off words. We need to see it, which I'm sure we will do. But yeah, like I said, thank you all for watching. As I say, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in tonight. Like I said, final call. If you do want to come over to the YouTube channel, Huddersfield Town on TV on YouTube, come over, drop a like, it does help the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. That would really mean a lot to me as well. So, but yeah, we're going to keep doing these as much content as we can, and hopefully, like I said, as much content as can keep growing the channel. And yeah, so yeah, thanks all for tuning in. I think we're all feeling, quite positive now, after hearing from the head coach for the first time. And, let's see how the coming weeks, months, ready into the next season develops. But yeah, guys, have a good rest of the night, rest of the evening, yeah. And I'm not sure when I'll be back for another live stream. Definitely going to be some videos out, maybe I'll upload the next day or so. I've got a few other topics I want to cover. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's support. Have a good rest of the evening, as I said. And as always, up the town, Michael Duff's Barmy Army. See you later, guys, and good night.